Do you remember when Walmart stores in Buffalo and outlet malls near the US-Canada border were full of Canadian shoppers? Every weekend, there were long lines of cars from Ontario. People came to find good deals and enjoy American shopping. These trips helped the US border towns make money. But now, things are very different. Many stores are closing. Canadians are not crossing the border like they used to. Billions of Canadian dollars that used to be spent in the US are now staying in Canada. Many workers in the US have lost their jobs. So what happened? Why did Canadians stop shopping in the US, even though the border is closed? In this video, we will talk about 7 kinds of American stores that Canadians are quietly avoiding. They are not protesting. They are just choosing to shop somewhere else. Their habits are changing. Let's begin. Number 1. Retail stores. A few years ago, it was normal to see lots of Canadian cars in Walmart parking lots near the border. People from Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick would come early to shop. Cities like Buffalo, Bellingham, and Plattsburgh were very busy on weekends. Canadians didn't just come to buy things. They came for the experience. Many called it border strolling. It was fun and cheap. The prices were lower. The taxes were lower. And the stores had more products. For many middle-class Canadians, US stores were like a shopping paradise. In some towns, Canadians made up 70% of weekend sales. Stores like Walmart and Target had more Canadian customers than local ones. But in 2025, that has changed. Fewer Canadian cars are crossing the border. Parking lots that were once full are now almost empty. Some stores have lost millions of dollars in just a few months. Workers are getting fewer hours. Service counters are closing early. What used to be a weekly shopping trip is now a thing of the past. Why? Because cross-border shopping is no longer a good deal. The Canadian dollar is weak. Gas prices are high. And extra fees like tolls and import taxes have increased. At the same time, Walmart Canada has lowered prices. On average, a Canadian shopper can save up to $400 a year by shopping at home. So now, more Canadians are staying in Canada to shop. US border stores are losing customers. Not suddenly, but slowly. Some stores have stopped hiring workers. Others are reducing their opening hours. Walmart is still doing fine overall, but not in border cities like Buffalo, Blaine, and Detroit. And it's not just retail stores. Gas stations, fast food restaurants, and money exchange booths are losing business too. Border towns that used to rely on Canadian visitors are now struggling. And this change might not be temporary. A recent study showed that 71% of Canadians plan to buy fewer American products in 2025. 1 in 4 people said they want this to be a permanent change. If border Walmarts close, it won't hurt the big company much. But it will hurt the local workers. Part-time employees. Stay-at-home parents working night shifts. And students looking for a job nearby. One Walmart closing could hurt the whole community. On the Canadian side, provinces like Ontario and British Columbia are asking people to shop local. They give tax breaks to companies that buy fewer American goods. And as fewer Canadians visit Walmart and Target, fast food restaurants are also feeling the impact. Number 2. Fast food restaurant. For many Canadian families, a trip to the US on the weekend was like going to a park. But better. Because they could stop for a real American Big Mac. Even though McDonald's exists in Canada, people still loved eating it on US soil. It felt more American. It felt special. But in spring 2025, things changed. Fast food workers near the border saw that Canadian families were not coming anymore. Roads were still open. But cars with Ontario or Quebec plates were gone. In early 2025, car traffic from Canada dropped by more than 35%. Fast food restaurants near the border lost over $350 million in sales. If the trend continues, they could lose more than $1.4 billion by the end of the year. This could affect thousands of part-time jobs in states like New York, Michigan, and Vermont. Canadians still like burgers and fries. But now they ask themselves a question. Is it worth the gas, the tolls, the exchange rate, and the long drive just for a sandwich? US fast food prices are not much cheaper anymore. Menus have stayed the same for years. And now, people care more about food quality. Parents want healthier food for their kids. They check labels for salt, sugar, and fat. Some are even worried about food safety. They have seen news about food recalls and quality problems in big US chains. Now, many Canadians are choosing local food brands. Mary Brown's is clean and good for families. Freshie offers healthy meals like salad bowls and smoothies. Some people just eat at home. These choices feel lighter, safer, and more modern. The empty tables at McDonald's are not just about lost money. It's about lost loyalty. In the past, Canadians made up 30 to 40% of weekend orders at some US locations. Now, those big family orders are gone. Fewer burgers sold means fewer people working in the kitchen. It means fewer deliveries and canceled shifts. It's a big chain reaction. And this didn't happen because of a scandal or a big event. It happened slowly. Because of small choices made by many people. Week after week. No one protested. But they all voted with their wallets. McDonald's used to stand for fun, cheap, and fast food. But when that feeling fades, people move on. You don't need to hate something to stop going. Sometimes, you just find something better. Many Canadians no longer see fast food as fun or exciting. They see it as something quick, but not always healthy or safe. Some people are now worried about food safety at big American chains. They have seen news reports about food recalls, bad ingredients, or lower quality due to cost cutting. Because of this, many Canadians are now turning to local fast food brands. One popular choice is Mary Brown's chicken. People like it because it's clean and family-friendly. Another is Freshie, which sells salads, plant-based meals, and smoothies. Customers can even track calories through an app. Many families now prefer poke bowls, veggie sandwiches, sushi rolls, or miso soup. These meals are still fast and easy, but they feel lighter and safer. For McDonald's and other fast food chains near the border, this change is painful. It's not just about losing sales. It's about losing loyal customers. Before, Canadian visitors made up 30 to 40% of weekend sales at some border McDonald's. These weren't small purchases. Families would order many meals and spend freely. If this continues, the loss won't just be in money. Every burger not sold means one less job in the kitchen. It means canceled work shifts and fewer food deliveries. It starts with one unsold meal and spreads across the whole business. But this didn't happen because of one big problem or a protest. It happened slowly. Hundreds of thousands of Canadians made quiet choices each week. And their habits change. No one voted for this shift, but they made the decision with their wallets. For a long time, McDonald's was a symbol of the American dream. It felt fun, fast, and affordable. But when that feeling fades, people stop going. You don't need to hate something to stop using it. Sometimes you just find something better for your life. Number 3. Souvenir shops. Some gifts are not bought because they look nice. They are bought because they remind us of a trip. Like a t-shirt that says, "I love New York," or a fridge magnet with the face of Abraham Lincoln, or a mug with a picture of the Rainbow Bridge. These gifts used to say, "I went to America." But in the summer of 2025, shops that sell these souvenirs are closing early. In places like Niagara Falls, Buffalo, and Plattsburgh, the streets feel quiet. Shops still have signs like, "Buy 3 get 1 free," but no one is stopping to look. Canadians used to be the main customers for these stores. But now, they are not coming. Tourism groups say the number of Canadian visitors to the US has dropped a lot in May and June. And this is not just a short-term problem. Local shop owners are worried. They think the real problem is a change in habits. Many Canadians no longer feel like a weekend trip to the US is important. And when there are no tourists, there is no need for souvenirs. These souvenir shops were once full of life and memory. Now, they are quietly struggling. There are no big headlines. No protests. But each small store is feeling the loss. The souvenir and travel gift industry may lose $280 to $350 million in just the first half of 2025. That number is big. But the industry is small and has no big voice. Still, the damage is real. Every gift that doesn't sell means one less shift for an employee. Empty shops hurt the whole street. Cafes, diners, and candy stores nearby also start losing money. There are no more kids asking for candy in French. No more older tourists buying postcards for family back in Vancouver. The little things that made these streets special are fading away. And this isn't about prices. It's about feelings. Many Canadians no longer like being seen as tourists who depend on US trips. They don't want to be seen as the 51st state, so they are choosing to stay home. They vacation in Canada. And they no longer feel the need to buy a shirt with stars and stripes. Now, they visit local places like Niagara-on-the-Lake, Montmorency Falls, or Prince Edward County. They buy things that feel Canadian. Maple syrup. Wool blankets. Handmade art. They buy with pride, not just for the price. Meanwhile, US towns are trying to win them back. Niagara Falls has put up signs saying, "Buffalo loves Canada." They've cut hotel taxes by 50%. But the problem isn't just lower tourist numbers. It's the loss of a feeling. The feeling of a quick foreign adventure. That feeling is gone in 2025. So now, souvenirs are not really about souvenirs anymore. They are part of a bigger story. A story about pride. A story about the quiet distance growing between two friendly countries. And unlike McDonald's or Walmart, souvenir shops have no big company behind them. These shops are owned by families, young people, or single parents. They don't have big ads. They survive by making memories. And now, they're losing the power to create those memories. In this silent change, souvenir shops are the saddest victims. Not because they're noisy, but because they depend on emotion. And that emotion is slowly disappearing from the border. Number 4. Electronics stores. There was a time when every new iPhone launch brought big excitement to stores near the border. Canadians from Ontario and Quebec would line up outside Apple stores or Best Buy. They didn't just want a phone. They wanted the experience. Touching the latest tech. Buying it early. Bringing it home before anyone else. Unboxing a phone bought in the US felt exciting. They would pick a case, a charger, and Apple Care. And then bring it all home in a white Apple bag. It wasn't just shopping. It was a proud moment. This habit added over $270 million to the tech retail market near the border. Canadian shoppers came often and spent a lot. But in summer 2025, those stores are empty. Parking lots are half full. Store staff are standing around with little to do. In Canada, the iPhone 15 Pro costs around $1,449 Canadian dollars, about $1,035 United States dollars. In the US, it starts at $999 USD. At first, that looks cheaper. But once you add sales tax, gas money, credit card fees, and warranty issues, it's no longer a good deal. And that's not the whole story. Since April 2025, the US has added a 25% tax on electronics made outside the country. The goal was to support American-made products. But most electronics like iPhones are made in China or India. So now, prices in the US have gone up even more. The result is surprising. Canadian shoppers are no longer crossing the border. Instead, some Americans are now crossing into Canada to buy electronics. On websites like Reddit, people are sharing tips. They ask Canadian friends to order from Amazon Canada. Some even drive to Ontario to pick up cheaper devices. What once felt impossible is now the smart choice. Canadians no longer see a reason to go to the US for electronics. Tech stores along the border are now quiet and empty. The showrooms are still bright and clean, but hardly anyone visits. Demo iPads stay on all day without a single fingerprint. Display counters are cleaned every hour, but no one comes to test the devices. These stores can't lower state taxes. They can't change the exchange rate. They can't make Apple move its factories to the US to avoid tariffs. Meanwhile, in Canada, things are improving fast. Best Buy Canada has opened new delivery hubs for faster service. The Source and Staples offer more in-store help. Amazon Canada now offers same-day delivery. The product choices, warranties, and customer service are good enough that Canadians no longer need to cross the border. Electronics stores in the US once felt modern and exciting. But now, their light is fading. Not because the gadgets are outdated, but because shoppers have changed their direction. The same people who once lined up early now choose to stay home. They're not making a loud statement. They're just walking past the stores without going in. And that quiet decision speaks volumes. Number 5. Pharmacies. Even after Canadians stopped going to Walmart or McDonald's, many still visited US pharmacies. Stores like CVS and Walgreens were regular stops. They'd buy vitamins, eye drops, or pain relief cream during a weekend trip. Buying medicine in the US felt smart and affordable. It was often cheaper and had more variety. But in 2025, Canadians began asking, is this still worth it? Gas prices are higher. Exchange rates are unpredictable. State taxes are confusing. At the same time, drug prices in Canada have stayed more stable. In 2024, drug prices in Canada only went up by 1.2%. But in the US, prices for some generic drugs rose 8 to 10%. That's a big difference, especially for seniors who buy medicine regularly. When you add up all the extra costs, gas, taxes, customs, the savings disappear. Meanwhile, Canada's pharmacies are getting better. Chains like Shoppers Drug Mart, Rexall, and Pharmasave are improving fast. You can now order medicine online, get same-day delivery, and speak to a pharmacist through an app. You can earn loyalty points and get medication reminders. And you can do all of this from your own neighborhood, no passport, no border crossing. For older Canadians, this is a big deal. They don't want to travel far or wait in lines. They don't want to deal with unfamiliar labels on American medicine. They just want to be helped in a place that understands them. Even Canada's online pharmacy market is growing quickly. Sales of vitamins, supplements, and over-the-counter products are booming. Experts say this market could reach $6 billion CAD in 2025. That's not just a trend, it's a real shift in how Canadians shop for health. On the US side, CVS and Walgreens near the border are now very quiet. No more customers rolling shopping baskets through the aisles. No more Canadians comparing cold medicine prices. Shelves are still full, but employees now spend more time checking stock than helping people. The US stores know they're losing Canadian customers. But they can't fix it. They can't change the exchange rate or rebuild trust easily. A woman from Winnipeg who used to drive 5 hours to Minneapolis for vitamin C now just uses the Canada Pharmacy app. She taps a few buttons, places her order, and gets it delivered to her door. No receipts to explain at the border. No customs checks. Most importantly, she feels cared for. In healthcare, it's not always about the price. It's about peace of mind. Canadians didn't stop going to US pharmacies out of anger. They just realized Canadian pharmacies do a better job now, simpler, friendlier, and closer. The US may lose billions from fewer foreign tourists. But the smaller, quieter losses like pharmacy sales hurt real people in real jobs. No one counts the unsold bottles of vitamins. No one reports on medicine that doesn't get restocked. But those pharmacy counters, once lit and ready for Canadian customers, are now just quiet shelves. And that silence is a goodbye spoken without words. Number 6. Luxury fashion stores. For a long time, a handbag was not just a purchase. It was the reason some Canadians crossed the border every weekend. They came to stores like Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, or outlet malls in Buffalo. They didn't just shop, they enjoyed the whole experience. The smell of new leather. The soft music. The staff helping them try on new arrivals. Shopping for designer goods felt luxurious and special. In the past, it made sense to cross into the US for luxury shopping. Prices were lower before taxes. There were more items to choose from. And the service felt more polished and refined. For many Canadians, shopping in the US felt classy, almost like being part of something elite. But in 2025, all that is changing. The reasons that once brought Canadians to US luxury stores are disappearing. New US taxes on imported clothing have raised prices. This especially affects brands made in Europe or Asia. When you include taxes, exchange rates, and travel costs, luxury items are often cheaper in Canada now. Even more important, the shopping experience in the US has declined. People wait longer for help. Fitting rooms don't feel private anymore. And the personal attention that made these stores special is mostly gone. Meanwhile, luxury shopping in Canada is improving. Stores like Holt Renfrew offer quiet spaces, personal stylists, and respectful service. It feels elegant but not flashy. Canadian brands like Aritzia, Judith and Charles, and Horses Atelier are becoming more popular. They offer modern style, premium materials, and personal value. Canadians don't just feel better served. They feel seen. Instead of chasing US or celebrity style, they are finding beauty in local and European designs. A coat from Max Mara. A Goyard clutch. A Saint Laurent wallet. These items not only show good taste, they also come with long warranties, great service, and expert care. Some products are even more affordable in Canada's upscale boutiques. And you get extra perks like member discounts, birthday gifts, and free shipping. In early 2025, Canada's luxury fashion industry grew by 4.2%. Experts say it could earn over $6.2 billion USD by 2029. But more than just numbers, there's a deeper truth. Canadians now know they don't need to leave the country to find style and elegance. In fact, they want their shopping experience to match their values, closer to home, more meaningful, and with more respect. On the US side, luxury stores near the Canadian border are struggling. Sales have dropped by 6.7% in early 2025. Some stores have reduced their floor space, laid off staff, and quietly given up on trying to win back Canadian shoppers. Even though the bags are still beautiful and the clothes still stylish, people are walking away. Not because they are angry, but because they found something better nearby. In the past, buying a designer bag in the US meant you were smart, you knew how to find a great deal. But today, buying that same item in Canada shows something else. It shows confidence, self-respect, and choosing what feels right for you. Fashion has never been just about what we wear. It's how we express ourselves. And today, Canadians are clearly saying, I don't need to cross a border to feel valued. Number 7. Warehouse stores. Even after Canadians stopped going to US restaurants, stores, and pharmacies, one place still seemed worth it. Warehouse clubs like Costco and Sam's Club. These stores used to be very popular. Canadians would drive for hours just to stock up on milk, snacks, and big packs of toilet paper. The idea was simple. Buy more, save more. With lower prices and special memberships, these stores seemed like the smartest way to shop. They were a symbol of smart spending and practicality. But in 2025, even that belief is starting to fade. The exchange rate is no longer helpful. Gas and customs costs are higher than before. And Costco Canada now offers the same deals close to home. So Canadians are starting to ask, am I really saving anything by going to the US? For many people, the answer is now no. The long lines of Canadian carts at the border are gone. Parking lots that were once packed are now mostly empty. No more bulk grapes or toothpaste tubes as big as paint cans. At many US warehouse stores near the border, the big shopping carts are still there, but no one is pushing them. The truth is, warehouse stores need large crowds to stay successful. Some stores near the border used to get 25% of their customers from Canada. But now, that number has dropped a lot. Reports from 2025 show that sales have gone down more than 12% in these locations. These stores have too much unsold stock and fewer supplier orders. At the same time, Canadian shoppers are changing their habits. They're buying less, eating healthier, and wasting less. They don't want giant packs of food or vitamins they won't finish. And in Canada, home delivery is easier than ever. You can order through an app, get same-day shipping, and skip the trip to the US. You don't need to pay for an American membership. Warehouse stores were once all about saving money. But now, they feel like something from the past. In 2025, people understand that real savings come from buying what fits your needs, not just buying in bulk. So Canadians are choosing to stay home. As a result, US warehouse stores near the border are cutting staff, reducing hours, and even closing some fresh food sections. Big stores that were once full of life now feel empty and quiet. If luxury shopping was about pride, warehouse shopping was about logic. So when Canadians stop going to even the most practical US stores, it's a clear sign. This change wasn't loud. No one posted angry tweets. No one protested. People just didn't renew their membership cards. One day, the carts were ready at the door but nobody came. That's the silent goodbye. It happened quietly, but it left behind billions in lost sales. Losses so quiet that no financial report wants to talk about them. So, we've taken you through 7 stops on this quiet journey, a soft boycott that happened without signs or protests. Just footsteps that no longer cross the border. Wallets that now stop in a different place. From Walmart to McDonald's. From souvenir shops to Apple stores. From pharmacies and fashion stores to even Costco and Sam's Club. Canadians have slowly stepped away from what used to be regular weekend trips. And this isn't just a story about money or politics. It's about people becoming more aware, making choices that feel right. These small personal choices are now shaking the businesses along the US border. To our viewers, what do you think about this shift? We're not here to divide. This video is meant to explore, reflect, and understand what's changing based on real facts, real feelings, and real trends. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching.